I don't care what time of the year it is. I want you to pull all your windows down so the whole world can hear it. This is Coda, and this is for the culture.
No love lost when these lyrics start to let off. Emmy award winner, you ain't nothing but a spinoff. Yo, what's up? It's your boy TCoda here, representing Philly all day long. One of West Philly's finest, one of the dopest lyricists that you'll hear coming out of Philadelphia, if I should say so myself. I'm one of the founders of DMG and the Culture. I'm also the CEO. Sitting next to me is the engine that keeps the machine running, my wife, Cashmere Davis. I'm going to let her talk about it herself, let her intro herself if she would like to.
Intro myself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. As you said, my name is Cashmere Davis. Literally, wife, mother, brain behind all things DMG. Really excited about this opportunity to share with you about the things that we got going on. Shout
out to Major Coffee Mag for having us. Let's dive right in.
I don't need cheers from the crowd to make me.
So I know that my faith is a strong part of what I do. It's really the foundation of everything who I am. I wouldn't be TCoda without that. Like, as you know, I'm a preacher's kid, so I grew up playing the drums in the church, singing on the choir, and that heavily influenced my love for music. So you wouldn't have the artist that you have in front of you, or the writer that I am, without that foundation, without the church background, without having that heavily God influence.
I agree with that. I also think, as I've heard you say before, like, you are a Christian who raps. You're not necessarily a Christian rapper. And I don't think people really understand what that actually means.
So when I say that, I say it because you wouldn't necessarily look at Russell Wilson and say he's a Christian football player, or look at Stephen Curry and say he's a Christian basketball player. And the reason why is because they play basketball, and that doesn't change who they are as a person or what they believe. So I feel the same way about hip hop. I feel like hip hop is self-expressing, and I just choose to express everything that I've been through. So I'm a hip hop artist who's a Christian, who talks about God, who talks about family, who talks about every experience that I ever had. So it all comes out through my music. So I give you everything. I give you both sides of the coin.
Right.
I've grew up in the hood. I grew up in the street. I've seen people get killed. I've been incarcerated. I've been able to escape that lifestyle. I've been in the church all my life. I'm a preacher's kid. I sung on a choir. So all those things make the artist that you see today. So I think it just shines through, and my faith is the foundation of everything. When you hear TCoda, you hear the culture. It's behind me. It's everywhere I go, literally. It's hip hop. That's the message I bring. I want you to experience that moment you first heard hip hop for the first time. The first time you turned on Jay-Z, or the first time you heard Eric B. and Rakim, or the first time you heard the Carter 1 or the Carter 2. Like, I want you to feel that experience when you listen to Coda. So I want to just be authentic, and I want the hip hop culture to just ring through every time you engage with me. So that's the message that I want. I want you to walk away like, yo, that's real hip hop. Like, every time you listen to me, like, I want that to ring true every time you listen to TCoda. Do you experience that?
Yeah.
So the top 3 memorable moments that made me pursue my music career, I would say the first moment would be the first time I got reaction from my peers in a cipher. That feeling is like, I can't even explain it. Like, the first time you feel validated by people that you're like grinding with, that you in it with all the time. And at that point, I was like the beatbox boy. So I wasn't even rapping at the time. And I was going to Brook, and Brook has elite MCs. And that first time just in that cipher, getting that validation, like, oh, T just killed it. Like, I think that was like that moment, like, yeah, I can do it. I think I would say my number 2 moment would be the first time a song I made went over well. I made this song, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I played it for my barber who's deceased now. His name is Rel. I played it in the barbershop for him, Ashim, and Phil, and they was feeling it. Like, I had made the beat and I had wrote the whole song, and they were like, yo, this joint tough, T. Like, you gotta keep going. I think that was like that second moment that was like, yeah, I got it. And I think the third moment was when the first time I was on stage rhyming, and it went over with the crowd. Like, they received what I was doing, and it was like, I can do this. And it wasn't nobody else with me. Because it's different when you perform and you got people with you, right, and it goes over well. But when you're by yourself, you're standing there alone, and it's just you, the mic, and the music, and you got to convey that energy to the crowd, and then that energy that you give off is given right back to you. It's no other feeling or no other way I can explain it. Like, those 3 moments, for me, was those validating moments to be like, you can really do this and you can pursue it at the next level. So when I think about my childhood, I think about Harmon Street, and I think about like summertime dancing. So I think about Joy and Pain by
Rob Bass.
By Rob Bass. You excited? So when I think about growing up in Philly in those summertime moments, I think about Rob Bass and dancing to Joy and Pain, and those block party moments where like me and my sister Niche, we would be dancing and like doing routines and all that. So that's the artist that I would.
Y'all had a combination.
We had whole routines. Like, me and Niche we probably could do our routines now. Like, they were serious. We were serious. Like, we practiced them Jones in Nana's kitchen. Like, them Jones is real. So that would be the artist I would say as my childhood. When I think about artists finding a wife, it's not hip hop, to be honest with you. Those moments I was going through my transition from young man to manhood was Music Soul Child. And listening to those albums, you can hear the Carvin Hagens in my writing, because I was heavily influenced by that neo soul sound. And Carvin Hagens did an excellent job with blending R&B and hip hop in the music with Music Soul Child. So that early 2000s, mid 2000s era is where I was kind of like finding myself. And I was heavily influenced by Music Soul Child's albums. I mean, like, even our relationship started off with us listening to Music Soul Child, right, and riding around and
the entire album.
Yeah, singing those songs. And there's literally songs that I can point to that really felt like I wrote them when I was looking for Cass. So it's like, I would say Music Soul Child was a heavily influenced, because is not a hip hop artist that helped shape me in that area, or that influenced me in that area. Now, as an adult man raising children and being a father and navigating my way through hip hop, I'm gonna always point to Black Thought, because he's been authentically been himself his entire career. Now, he's evolved, which all people do, and they mature and grow in different areas, but who he has been in his music has consistently been the same throughout his whole career. So when I look at somebody that I can have my son listen to, or my sons listen to, and I wouldn't shy away from them hearing what they're talking about, is Black Thought. Now, not to say that I wouldn't want them to listen to Jay-Z or listen to the Nas's, because they're experiences that they would want to share in as well. But as far as somebody that that I want to say that's stable, and that's been consistently speaking positivity and uplifting his community and trying to pour back into that black man, I gotta say Black Thought.
We are partners in life, and I think that it's important for us to be partners in everything that we do. So we do church together, we serve at church together, we do business together, we do family life, everything together as partners. And I think it's important for us to do that because, one, I have his best interest at heart. So when it comes down to DMG, TCoda, all things culture, I want to make sure that he is best represented, because not only does it impact him, but it impacts our family, our brand, and the things that we wish to do together.
So one thing my pastor always says is submit to the voice within the voice. So I can recognize the God that comes out of my wife's mouth. And that's with music, business, in the house with the kids, in every area or every facet of our life. So I'm okay with submitting to the voice within the voice. And I think that goes back and forth between each of us. And I think that's what helps us work well together, because we submit to the God in each other. And I think that's what helps us move and navigate through this thing called life. It makes it easier.
And it wasn't always like that. Like, this is 10 years in. Year 1, sir, it's a no. No, you can't do that. No, they're not okay. And I think now we're at a place where I don't even have to say it. He'll feel it. He's like, she ain't with it. Yeah, because I have your best interest at heart. And if it's not going to help, if it's going to hurt, it's a no for me.
And learning how to be okay with that, and then seeing the evidence of it. Like, no, that wasn't a good judgment. I'm glad we didn't roll with that. Or seeing her saying, like, yeah, that might be the one, and we make the move and the move works out. And then that happening on both sides. Like me making a good business decision and she seeing like, oh yeah, right. Seeing the fruits of that worked. And then me turning down some things and it working out to the best interest. So yeah, I think just really being submitted to each other makes us work well together.
And that helps us, like, what we learn in ministry, we add that to our family life, that we add that to business, and it's allowing us to like flourish in every capacity. So
it's tangible.
Yeah. And
it works, so we use it.
To make me feel proud, darling.
So when I think about COVID, it's definitely been challenging, but we've been resourceful. We've been creative. We've been working. We got a lot done. We haven't been able to perform live like we love to do, with the culture open mic like we usually do, and being able to engage our audience with that live performance, that live feel in the same room. But I think we've adapted to what COVID-19 has thrown at us, and we just use our social media platforms, YouTube, all the resources that we have allotted to us by the internet. I think we use them in a different way to engage our audience. We've done a couple different projects. In March, I dropped Firstborn Third. We did several videos for that. We dropped Obsidian with Charlie K. We dropped a couple videos for that. And then Charlie K dropped the Blessed single. We did a video shoot for that. So we've been able to navigate it, this rough terrain, pretty decent. But we want to get back to performing live. I think I love the stage. I love performing in front of the people. So we definitely want to get back. And if we can do it a creative way where it works in this climate, we're all for it. But I don't think that, if anything, the struggles of COVID-19 in 2020 made us better. So we made a couple of connections through COVID. We've been recently we are with the Time to Grind versus tournament with Big Seven. out of Newark, New Jersey, which has been pretty successful. We made it out the first round. We were actually getting ready to do the second round of the tournament in a couple of days. We always had our partnership with Rec Philly, working with Will Times and Dave Silver and them. We actually have something that we've worked on through COVID that's pretty a big deal. I would like to say the name, but she's not going to let me.
Not yet.
But we definitely been able to connect with a couple people using a new platform, Clubhouse, to connect with a couple different people, a couple different artists, a couple different venues.
Getting into like rooms you normally wouldn't be
able to get into, talking to people that you normally wouldn't be able to talk to. So just using those, like I said before, using those resources and getting those connections really helped us throughout this time, through this semi-COVID time, semi-quarantine time. So we're working on, I think, 3. We got Step Brothers, we have Parable Music, and my follow-up project to Firstborn Third, which is called My Second Program. So I know for sure we got like 3 projects that we're working on right now. We have a couple things that we want to do for people through the culture that we kind of like are like mulling over, trying to work out the kinks on what we would like to do for the people that's been instrumental in helping the culture out going into 2021 and going further to something that we want to make a consistent thing. So we got a lot of things that we're working on. Definitely trying to make TCoda a household name. Trying to hit these New York radio stations, these Philadelphia radio stations. I definitely want to be on Sway in the morning show, Funk Master Flex. I want to give them everything I got. So that's goals that we want to see come to fruition in 2021. I have aspiration to work with certain artists. I'm not going to mention no names because I don't want to jinx it. But I don't want to jinx it. But there's definitely artists that I would like to work with coming out of this year that I think that's reachable and that we can make happen. So we got a couple of goals and they're achievable and we working towards it.
I'm in a different world like the niece and Jaleesa while you try and meet the Parkers. I was chilling with Moesha.
So you can find me everywhere by Googling TCodamusic.com. All our resources, everything that we ever done, musically, videos, everything is housed there. Social media wise, everything is TCoda Music, TCoda Music. You can find everything, all our social media outlets, our YouTube, all that stuff can be found on TCoda Music. I was taught by Will Times that everything that you should do should be named the same thing. You make it easier for the audience to get to you. So it's all the same. All the outlets are the same. Everything's TCoda Music. You can find us there. You can get Defibrillator Music Group. You get access through the culture. All those things you get through TCoda Music.
Make sure you're checking out Firstborn Third.
Yes.
Firstborn Third, the debut project album. It is amazing. From first track, the intro to the outro, it is hot. And Obsidian, you got to talk about Obsidian.
Obsidian is dope. Obsidian is dope. I work with a good friend of mine, Charlie K. We did a project just for like the racial tension, the social injustice that was going on. We just felt the need to have our voices heard. And somebody challenged me like, what people want to hear you. What are you thinking right now? And then when I started thinking about that, I'm like, what do I want my sons to hear or to know what their father was thinking during that time period? So we put it on wax. So that's what birthed Obsidian. So, and we did that right in the middle of us doing another project, which is Step Brothers. So check out Obsidian. Check out Firstborn Third. Both of the links are on the TCoda Music page. We got Codas coming. We got Target Practice, the singles that we dropped leading up to Firstborn Third. So we got a lot going on, a lot that's happening right now. We got, I'm telling you, the Step Brothers project is crazy, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear the Step Brothers project, man. Me and Charlie K put a lot of work in on that project. Shout out to Brizzo. Shout out to Logic, man. Shout out to Logic and Brizzo for the Firstborn Third project, man. They did a lot of work. They did a lot of work. Brizzo produced the whole album, and Logic mixed and matched the whole project, man. They did an amazing job for that project. And, I mean, shout out to DMG. Shout out to you. DMG. My wife does a lot of the work behind the scenes that doesn't get talked about. She keeps it growing, keeps it going. So, shout out to you, babe. And shout out to Major Coffee Magazine for having us, yo. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. We thank y'all for the platform.
Yes.
Thank y'all for allowing us to be here and talk to y'all. Thank y'all. God bless.